Emmanuelle never expected that in a single week she would face two such significant events in her life, her divorce and her dismissal. An old property inherited in a small town seemed to be the starting point for a change, but even she couldn't foresee how everything would unfold in this way. Hello, my friends. I am Linda, and this is the Linda's Stories channel. I hope you enjoy this story. As the lawyer slid the documents before them, his words echoed in the heavy silence of the office. After this signature, you will be officially divorced. If all my clients were as civilized and thoughtful as you, my job would be much easier, he said, pointing to the spot where Emmanuelle and Nicolas were to sign. There, in that impersonal and formal environment, a 20-year story was coming to an end. A warmthless hug marked the farewell of the now separated couple, but their hearts no longer connected in that gesture. It was a hug where the arms no longer fit, where the bodies, once so familiarly intertwined, now seemed strangers to one another. It was a clear sign of the distance and differences that had seeped between them. "I'll call you to arrange our daughter's visits then," murmured Nicolas. "All right," Emmanuelle replied. She also gathered her things, preparing to leave that place where fate had drawn its conclusion. It was a sad end to a story that had begun with so many dreams, when the two were still young medical students, nurturing hopes of changing the world, of leaving their mark on the lives of those in need. Now, those dreams seemed distant, lost amidst the complexities of adult life and the vicissitudes of love. Emmanuelle and Nicolas had more than just a love story. They shared a professional journey that began in the hallways of medical school and extended through the challenging phases of hospital residencies. Together, they faced the initial years of an honourable yet demanding profession. The decision to specialise in plastic surgery was a significant turning point. At that time, Emmanuelle expressed her doubts about the choice, considering other areas like traumatology or general practice, which she felt were more in line with her vocation. But Nicolas, always pragmatic and ambitious, convinced her of the financial potential in plastic surgery. Thus they embarked on years of mutual dedication and sacrifice, climbing the arduous steps towards recognition in plastic surgery. Nicolas, a descendant of a lineage of doctors, carried with him not only a legacy of respect, but also a family tradition. With the support of his parents and uncles, he laid the foundations of a prestigious clinic even before his marriage to Emmanuelle. Over time, the clinic flourished, becoming a benchmark in plastic surgeries. Emmanuelle, in turn, was invited to join the clinic's team, where her surgical skill and passion for the profession quickly distinguished her as one of the most sought-after doctors. However, despite the success she achieved within that glamorous and prestigious environment, she felt an inner calling that pushed her to explore new horizons. "Nicolas, the clinic is already well established. I think it's time for me to follow my true vocation. I've been considering dedicating myself to the hospital's burn unit. There, I believe my skills could be better utilised." "Emmanuelle, you need to think more ambitiously. This is where the money is," he retorted, unable to understand the profound restlessness driving his wife beyond the boundaries of mere financial prosperity. With the arrival of Sophie, the couple's daughter brought with her a subtle but profound change in Emmanuelle's life. Deciding to dedicate some time to motherhood, she temporarily stepped away from her career. Emmanuelle found that motherhood not only transformed her, but also awakened a series of questions and restlessness in her soul. This new phase of her life, though filled with love and fulfillment, also brought to light a sense of disarray with the priorities of her previous life. While she dove deeper into the magical world of motherhood, Nicolas remained anchored in his relentless pursuit of success. Year after year, the conflicting thoughts between Emmanuelle and Nicolas slowly eroded the connection that once bound them so intensely. Deep conversations were replaced by uncomfortable silences, warm embraces by courteous gestures. Words of love and affection gave way to notes casually left on the table, as if the once vibrant emotions had been diluted by time and emotional distance. There was no hatred or resentment between them, just a silent void, a lack of attention and affection that hung in the air like a discreet shadow over what was once a relationship full of promises and shared dreams. And thus the inevitable conclusion came for that couple, sealing the end of a story that once was marked by promises and shared dreams. However, in the wake of the separation, something was about to change for Emmanuelle. Upon entering the clinic the next morning, She was surprised with the news that her patients had been cancelled and that she should report to Nicholas's office. "Good morning, Emmanuel." Her ex-husband greeted her with a sorrowful expression. "I spoke with the other partners at the clinic, and they informed me that many of your patients have been cancelling their surgical procedures. What's going on?" he inquired, trying to understand the situation. "Nicholas, I've noticed that many of the patients who come to us seek unnecessary procedures, driven by personal insecurities or influenced by celebrities. I've been advising some of them to reconsider and have even refused to perform certain procedures that I deem unnecessary. You know that's not how we operate here. I want to make it clear that this has nothing to do with our divorce. I just need to give an answer to my partners. So as of today, you no longer work here," declared Nicholas with a firm but uncomfortable tone. Curiously, Emmanuel left that office with a lightness in her heart. It was as if a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. Lately, immersed in a hectic schedule of professional commitments, Emmanuel had barely had time to deal with a pending personal matter. The death of a distant uncle a few months earlier had left her as the sole heir to an old property, located in a small town in the countryside. Despite being only an hour away, she had never found the time to sort out the bureaucracy. She decided to embark on a small trip with her daughter Sophie to finally resolve this pending issue. When she finally arrived in the small town, as she walked through the streets, she couldn't help but notice the charm of the place that seemed to have come out of a bygone era. The cobblestone streets, the houses adorned with floral curtains. When she arrived at the address of the property that had been bequeathed to her, Emmanuel was confused. The property was neither empty nor abandoned. On the contrary, there was intense activity with many people coming and going. When Emmanuel discovered what was happening there, she was shocked. And that old property was about to become the starting point of a new life for that woman. Her trip to that town ended up extending for a few days. A week had already passed when she decided to call her ex-husband, Nicholas, with news that would leave him bewildered. "Nicholas, I need to tell you that I've decided to move to the small town where the property I inherited from my uncle is located. I hope we can reach an agreement regarding our daughter Sophie's visits," she said. "Emmanuel, there's no problem with that. I can make that small trip, but I'm worried about you. I hope our divorce and your job loss haven't led you to make rash decisions," Nicholas said with concern. "Don't worry, Nicholas. I've never been so sure about a decision like this one," Emmanuel replied before hanging up the call, leaving her ex-husband puzzled. When the weekend arrived, Nicholas drove to the small town to visit his young daughter. He was curious about what had made his ex-wife Emmanuel decide to move so spontaneously. Did she fall in love with someone? I can't believe that in such a short time she has already found someone else, Nicholas thought, letting uncomfortable thoughts fill his mind. As the car moved along the winding roads, he wondered what he would find upon arriving. When he reached the address Emmanuel had given, Nicholas thought there must be some mistake. "It can't be that Emmanuel gave me the wrong address," he said with a sigh. Calling his ex-wife's cell phone, she didn't answer. With no alternative, he decided to ask at that address if anyone knew the woman who had just moved to the town. "Oh, you're looking for Dr. Emmanuel? Of course we know where she is. She's seeing patients in that clinic right over there," said a woman he had asked for information. Nicola was stunned to discover that Emmanuel had not only moved to that town, but was also working there as a doctor. When Nicholas finally found Emmanuel, he noticed something different, a sparkle in her eyes that he hadn't seen in many years. "Hi, Nicholas, you found the address. Sophie is playing right there in the yard with the other children," Emmanuel said with a smile. "Emmanuel, what is this place? Is this the property you inherited from your uncle? Why are there so many people here?" asked Nicholas, still trying to understand the turnaround in his ex-wife's life. "When I came here, I thought I would just handle some inheritance paperwork for an old property, but what I found was this place full of life. My uncle had donated the property to the community. Here they have everything from activities for children to classes for the elderly. It's a community gathering point. They had been looking for a doctor willing to work here for minor consultations, but since the salary was low, they hadn't found anyone. And that's where I come into the story. I quickly fell in love with everything happening here. Legally, I would have the right to this property, but I decided to donate it to the town so that everything could remain as it is. Besides, now I'm the new doctor for the community," Emmanuel explained. "Nicholas, when I said that I felt there was a lack of purpose in the work I was doing, and that I wanted to be in a place where I could really add something, this is what I was talking about, said Emmanuelle with a contagious smile. The sparkle in her eyes conveyed the fulfillment of being where she truly belonged, making a difference in the lives of those around her. Nicholas felt a mix of admiration and pride as he witnessed the determination and kindness of his ex-wife. In the following weekends, whenever Nicholas went to the town to visit his daughter, he also spent time at the community centre. Eventually, he began to assist with the services there. Little by little, he started to share the same enthusiasm as Emmanuelle. They returned to having long conversations, now sharing a common sentiment. The distance that had led to their divorce was shrinking with each passing weekend. As they worked together for the good of the community, they rediscovered the love and admiration for each other. The weekends in that once unfamiliar little town became precious moments of unity, laughter, and new discoveries. The family remade itself. Nicola devoted less and less time to his aesthetic clinic to dedicate himself to the community centre. He and Emmanuelle rediscovered each other in that place, finding their true purpose and vocation. Together, they not only served the community but also served each other with love, understanding, and support. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to let us know how much you liked the story. Also, watch the video that is currently on your screen. See you soon.